Ocean City head coach Kevin Smith. Good morning, Smitty.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good, man. I got to keep up with Mike Frankel and SNJ today. He's already starting with the high school football previews.
I know, man. Frankel's a beast.
He is an animal. We're not going to talk too much in the previewing your team. Obviously, you've only been practicing for a few days, but I wanted to kind of get a sense of the excitement level down there with the new turf field and all the work that's been done over at Cary Stadium. What are you guys thinking about it?
It's beautiful. It's been really cool to watch the process happen. I've never actually seen a field done like this, and it's a lot of work. I mean, it was really interesting just watching them tear up the old turf, grade it, bring in all the material. I mean, put down the stone. It just our kids were in lifting weights throughout July while it was all going on, so they got to watch it happen as well. And now that the turf's down, and we should be able to get on there, in the next couple of days. They're putting the finishing touches on it with the sand and the cork and everything. And I got somebody sent me an aerial shot the other day of the field and with the ocean and the community surrounding it. It was really cool. So
I saw that on Facebook, man. It looks awesome from the air for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I just think, it's such a cool venue to begin with. You can sit in the stands, and there's the boardwalk, the ocean, the Ferris wheel, and now you have this beautiful field. So it's a unique venue.
Are the other teams kind of jockeying for time on the field?
Yeah. I mean, I made it pretty clear with the athletic director it's a football field. But it's lined for about 5 different sports, though. So, I'm sure we're going to have some competition. But, everybody's been really cool. I mean, I'd love to see, field hockey and soccer and those guys get on there as well. And I think that we have a great opportunity to do, some multiple sport events and bring in camps and things from out of town. I know Rowan's going to do their inter-squad game on the 20th, actually next Saturday. And that should be, they've been bringing people down in the past, and but now with this facility, I think we can attract more things like that. I just think it's a great thing for both the school and the city.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, Ocean City has fields all over the town. The soccer team has to go down to Tennessee Ave, and the field hockey team has to go after school to 18th Street or whatever to play field hockey. And now all these teams can kind of get out there, and I'm sure there's going to be some jockeying for position in terms of practice time and all that stuff. But in terms of games, it's going to be neat to see field hockey down there, soccer, football. So everything's kind of right there behind the school.
Yeah. And, our athletic director, Jack Bisermeyer, he's been great in terms of the scheduling and working with everybody for what they need. And, I'd love to be able to have a practice and then our guys go in the locker room, get changed, and come out and, support the field hockey team or support the soccer team. And I think that for those programs to play, 6 o'clock games with a great crowd as, kind of the sun's going down in the fall and that environment brings, just kind of an excitement to soccer and field hockey. Maybe that is a little bit different from what they have now because the venue is so exciting.
That's a great point you make. I hadn't really thought about that. Other teams kind of hanging around after practice or before practice, checking out the different sports. You really didn't have that before because, football practice maybe gets done at 4 or 5 o'clock, and you've already missed the field hockey game because it's halfway across town, or the soccer game, and they play a night game here and there on the football field. But it's going to be really cool now. You might get a chance to, like you said, have a football practice, and then boom, you guys finish up at 5:15, and there's a soccer game at 6. So really cool. It's got to be exciting for not only the football players but also the other athletes to have this kind of facility now.
Oh yeah, sure. They'll get bigger crowds, if they play some games around that time. And like you said, our guys don't really get to see other programs because of the conflict with practice, and they've been historically really good programs. So I think it's a good thing to promote just district wide.
What's the attitude of the guys? They got to be just itching to get on there and just feel the turf under their feet, and it's such a beautiful field, and to be out there, it kind of makes you invigorate the program a little bit.
Yeah, we're hoping that it'll be a draw. A couple years ago, our numbers got pretty low, but we've built it back up. We've got about 50 guys again, and we're just hoping that, if you're an upper kid who's thinking about, I don't know, going to a Catholic school or a private school, this, for me anyway, I think is a tremendous attraction. We've already got a relatively new school. We got a great academic program. You put on top of that a first-rate facility, and I'm as biased as it gets as far as being pro Ocean City, but I can't imagine why you'd want to go anywhere else.
Well, I think as any athlete or coach, you want to play in top-notch facilities, and this has to make you feel good as a coach to be able to provide this kind of thing for your players and say, hey, we got one of the best fields now in the West Jersey Football League, and there's going to be a lot of attraction for not only football but other sports, and that's got to be a great feeling to say, hey, now we're a legit top-notch school in South Jersey.
Oh, absolutely. I got to tell you, when you just said West Jersey Football League for a second, I was like, wait, what?
I had to catch myself. I almost said Cape Atlantic League.
I know. It hasn't totally registered just yet, to be quite honest. But, no, I mean, for sure, we're excited about that. I want, we really want football to be an event again in Ocean City like it used to be. And we feel the program's moving in the right direction, that we're getting more competitive on the field. And, you put that with a unique venue, and we win some games, you draw people back out. I was coaching 15, 20 years ago when we were having, so much success. And that vibe on a Saturday afternoon in Ocean City when you had a big game going on at Carey Stadium was really cool. I mean, it was really just, something about being at the shore in the fall, heightening the excitement to the football experience. And, I think this field obviously contributes, to kind of bringing some of that back. And now, as a program, we have to do our part.
We're talking with Kevin Smith, head football coach at Ocean City High School. They have a brand new turf field, which is just about completed. Coach, I'm sure you're gonna see some oohs and ahs from the alumni at the Red and White weekend. No doubt.
I mean, some of those guys are probably going to be, a little ticked off because
they had to play on the field with the geese and everything, right?
Yeah, that was, sometimes the conditions on the old field, you didn't know what you were going to get, to be quite honest. So. They had some good war stories, no doubt.
Coach, how excited are you for this season? Like you said, you got some increased numbers. You got some real good players back, and it's going to be a tough schedule for you, no doubt. They didn't do you any favors with the new realignment, but this time of year, it got to be great for a coach. You get that pep back in your step, and I'm sure you just want to get the boys strapped up and start hitting and get on with it, right?
Yeah. August is great. Everybody's undefeated in August. But no, it's great when every team is different. You're figuring out the character of the team. We pretty much know what we are physically, but what are we going to be mentally? That's really the challenge. We just went through a pretty intense training camp week, and you're really trying to build leaders, and you're trying to build confidence, and I mean that's really sort of like the art of coaching. I think it is kind of what's going on at this point in the year is when you're trying to bring 50 young men together and take them in a direction. I don't know, maybe they don't believe in themselves just yet, but how are we going to get them there? And every group of kids is different. This year's team is vastly different from last year's team. So for me as a coach, this is one of the things I enjoy the most.
Coach, this might sound like an odd question, but does playing on turf alter the game plan at all? In terms of what you guys want to do, and maybe adding some more quick hitter type stuff because you can have that traction?
Yeah, it certainly can. I mean, I'm not trying to trash the old field or anything, but there were times when the conditions on that field were pretty poor, and it sort of limited, what you were able to do in some circumstances. Like you couldn't use the width of the field when the traction was real bad because you needed your kids to be running north-south because, if they put their foot in the ground to cut up field, that they were going to lose their footing. Now you got 53 yards of width of the field that you can use, and that actually helps us because in the last couple of years we've transitioned really to being a spread team. We have a pretty good quarterback who can throw the ball around, and it just kind of gives you a little bit more field to work with and a few more options in terms of what you can do offensively.
Coach, real quick before we let you go, you talked about your quarterback, Andrew Donahue, and he's kind of had some experience now and is getting older. And what are you expecting out of him? Obviously, this is a big year for him to kind of lead this team into the new era. You're asking a lot of a kid like that, but he's got some great experience on the baseball team and a championship run. How much is that going to help him just maturity-wise, being on a championship team like the baseball team and carrying that over into the fall season?
It's been interesting to see Andrew grow up. You know, he'll be a third-year starter. When he was a sophomore, I mean, he was kind of like a wide-eyed, you know, all shucks, you know, kind of kid who didn't say a whole lot. And now he's, you know, kind of like an unquestioned team leader, getting guys in the right spot, commanding the offense, all that. And I think our first of all, to have the luxury of a kid with that type of leadership and experience at the high school level is huge. And then our first 2 games are against Oak Crest and Cedar Creek, and between Kendall Elliott and Jesse Mills, those kids are 4-year starters. So you're going to see some really interesting, you know, quarterback play in those first couple of games.
Yeah, I guess you're not sending too many thank you notes out to the schedule makers.
No, it's fair, man. We're excited about it. I feel like it's competitive. The division that we're in. I mean, St. Joe and Cedar Creek are obviously defending sectional champs and very, very good programs, no question. But then we get to keep our rivalries with Mainland, Oak Crest, and Gammy, and we're excited about those games because we've had some really competitive games with them recently. And then we get some Cape May County games, you know, back. We get middle and lower, and those are good rivalry games too. So all in all, you know, I think it'll be challenging, no doubt, but I'm really happy we're able to keep some of the regional rivalries.
Good stuff, Coach. We'll let you go. I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon, and good luck the rest of the preseason.
Great. Thanks for the time.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Take care.
That was Kevin Smith, of the Ocean City high school football coach. We're getting all jazzed up about high school football here. We'll get some more guys on in the coming weeks to talk about high school football, which is right around the corner.